How are you? How's everyone doing? We're live now. Thank you so much for being with us. Hey, this image that's going around on the internet is really shocking, isn't it? There's a fireball making the rounds again. This time, between Missouri and Kansas in the United States, an object appeared again, a meteorite, a fireball, maybe space debris. Honestly, who knows, right? If Superman was falling there or something like that, we don't know. But one thing's for sure, it's quite a sight to see. It's really amazing. Exactly. Another striking image is the flooding. Listen to this. Well, I imagine you must have heard that they have been reporting floods. This is happening in Spain, in the United States, and in different places they have been reporting floods. They also report this. What's happening there?
Here we are seeing attacks that are being carried out by Iran with drones toward the Kurdish area. This should have been settled in the agreement, so they shouldn't be bothered anymore, right?
Exactly. I mean, they should have included that too, right? So that they wouldn't attack the Kurds. Obviously, that's not under the United States plan or in the interest of the United States. And well, they're reporting this situation. A new attack? The representative of the PDKI, Gerard Belenji, has been saying that they are seeking peace, but this regime attacks even the people who live there because there are also Iranian Kurds, but they attack them just the same, right? Also, another situation that stands out is this image. It's a clip that's been going around in Japan showing a Japanese family immediately running and taking cover during an earthquake. The father immediately goes out to protect his family. And right away too. Well, they even put a little blanket on them. Well, it's also an interesting moment. It really catches your attention. This one is pretty brave. Let's stand up. All right. According to what they show, this is a quadruped robot called Animal, spelled with a Y. That's an animal. Yes, this was made by researchers from ETH in Zurich. Just look over there in Switzerland. This is it. This is in Switzerland. Actually, it's just that whenever it's a robot, it's from the United States, from China, from Japan, from China. I mean, there are like 5 or 6 countries that are always making robots. But this time, well, it's Zurich that's showing one of these drones. As long as they're not for war, whether it's for sports or for something else.
It's going to launch into nothing.
Just that. You change his arm?
That's it when you lock it.
Grenades and that's it. Well, look, it's very easy. Just look. No, well, yeah, that's right, right? Or rocks at least, but it's going to launch something there. Well, it's pretty interesting. This little robot is quite agile. And well, here's another image. This is a picture of a volcano over in Indonesia. It's Merapi, which has also been showing some activity. No, these are volcanoes that tend to be very active in terms of explosions, in terms of smoke plumes, lava. On this occasion, there was some incandescent material during the night yesterday. Well, actually today, June 16th, but in this period, they are almost a day ahead and they are already on June 17th, right? But anyway, the point is that, well, there was also activity in that volcano. Well, that's how we start today. And also with a tropical depression that has been hitting hard over there in the Gulf of Mexico. I don't think it will form as a storm or a full tropical storm, but it's close. Maybe Arthur will end up forming, and it would be the first cyclone, let's say a tropical storm, because it wouldn't reach Category 1 hurricane status. Apparently, it doesn't bring a lot of wind, but it does bring a lot of rain. So stay alert. Friends in Louisiana and Texas. Here, we've also gotten a lot of rain in these parts. A huge shout out to Guadalajara, Jalisco, Tapatia. Everyone, greetings to all.
Greetings.
Yeah, Blues. A huge shout out to Karim. And a huge shout out to the whole community. A special greeting to everyone who has been with us for a long time. Right? Doesn't matter if some can be members and others can't. The important thing is that there are people here who have been part of this community for many years, and that's something I really appreciate. I hope that someday I'll have the pleasure of meeting you in person. Perla, big greetings. Argentina 3-0 on top of that. Congratulations. And 3 goals from Messi as well. I mean, wow, I wanted to see it, but there was no way I could cover it or broadcast it. But yeah, it would have been cool to see it, honestly. That's awesome. Obviously, I'm going to watch the highlights in a bit, but 3 goals from Messi, the top scorer in history, that pretty much confirms it. Now,
And there's still more to come.
yes, 6 World Cups for Messi, and in the first match of his 6th World Cup, he scores 3 goals. That's just crazy. Well, this is just crazy. With that, he'll really catapult himself to being the best in history. Many already consider him that, I know. But well, there's always been that debate, right? Like Maradona, Pele, Cristiano, and well, Chicharito.
Greetings to Billy Hernandez, who's watching us from Austin, Texas. Hello, Billy.
Hello, Billy. How have you been, Billy Hernandez?
The city of Texas.
Yes, honestly, it is. Austin is by far the best city. Well, I only know Dallas from the airport.
Passing.
But it looks like it's nice too. But well, with what little we know of Texas, we've really liked that city, Austin. He says, except for amazing goals, there are none.
He says amazing goals with chip shots and all.
Let's see if he sends the image of Bangladesh celebrating.
I sent it.
Okay, you have it there now. Actually, it's the last one. Before we go to the news, so you can see how they celebrate.
Because in Bangladesh, since their team doesn't participate, well, they don't participate actually. So they put on the jersey. But of Argentina, I mean, even though their team participates.
I mean, they are fans of Argentina, of the team. I mean, honestly, you'd think you were in Argentina. I want you to see how crazy it is.
They're always wearing the Argentina jersey in the news.
Yeah. I mean, actually, they're always setting records like the biggest Argentina poster in the world and everything or everyone. And I don't know. I mean, just realize that Bangladesh could belong to Argentina and they wouldn't even need to conquer it. Just by asking, hey, do you want to be Argentine? They're going to say yes. They're going to vote yes. So, well, check this out. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy, but incredible, right? Yeah. Well. So there's no celebration in the video. Yeah, with the flag, kissing the flag. You say, hey, well, they're definitely Argentinians. Well, greetings also to Roble and Odilia. How have you all been? Kikire, look at you, now that you're famous. You don't talk to us. But seriously, Kikire, big greetings and thanks for being here. He's really busy. He wanted his own channel and now he's really busy with it. He wanted his own channel and is now very busy, so he visits us less. Big greetings to him and please subscribe to his channel. How are you? Odilia, Raul Sachs, Rose Bemaco. Great. How have you been? Look, there he is. I'm just here to say hi and congrats to all Argentinians. Chino, why are you just stopping by? What's this about leaving quickly? You're setting a bad example. Hey, Sol Garcia Gustavo, how have you been? Novak's dad. The 1,000th like, says Novak's dad. Hey, I hope we reach 1,000. We already had a streak of reaching 1,000. Not anymore, right? So help us out. And let's see if we can at least reach 1,000 every day. That would be great. J. Now let's get to the information because today there's a little bit of everything. We're not starting with sports. The War Department. Trying to say or show why they have to be hiding information. Because in the end, this declassification is being handled in the following way. I want you to see how the declassification is happening. Give me a moment. This is what the declassification looks like, right? I mean, let's put it here on the right, which is really dark. There it is. Look. I mean, a good part, a large percentage of the declassified documents are completely blacked out. And then, obviously, complaints started to come up, right? About what happened at the site. And then there's an organization called the Black Vault, where they document and have a catalog of thousands and thousands and thousands of official files, mostly from the United States, which they collect. They keep collecting information whenever something is declassified or leaked. They have it there. So for those who say, no, those topics don't exist, go read the documents, Go to the official information, which is abundant. There's a lot of information. The important thing is that the Office of the Inspector General of the Department of War published the third batch last Friday.
That's the fourth part of the fourth.
That's already part of the fourth. Well, in this fourth batch, documents like this one appear again with lots of blacked out sections. What has happened? What is it?
Well, in this particular case, it's part of a FOIA request identified as ODEO and G 2,021,806 related to a U.S. military apparatus that deals with unidentified aerial phenomena. This document corresponds to an official proposal of the project. It's an assessment of the Department of Defense's actions regarding unidentified aerial phenomena. And well, it seeks to determine to what extent the Department of Defense has taken intelligence and counterintelligence actions to detect, collect, explore, analyze, and address UAPs or UFOs.
Exactly. So they come like that. They come, let's say, censored. Have they explained why or what's going on?
Well, what stands out is that the most important points in the section called potential benefits are the ones that are completely censored. Okay, that's an extension of the FOIA that links military plans, weapon systems, operations, national security capabilities. So by law, the Department of Defense, now the Department of War, is allowed to carry out the censorship. That's how it's linked to military plans, weapon systems, operations, and national security capabilities. And that's why you see these blacked out sections. See, so it's not just about the videos showing objects flying around and wondering what they are, but the government sees these phenomena as part of its defense, surveillance, and intelligence structures. So they could also be some of the instruments that the United States government uses for military purposes, but they could also enhance their military capabilities. So after studying them, this technology could be applied to the US military.
Well, so it's not just a mystery anymore. It's also about military secrets, right? This situation goes beyond that. And not in every case, obviously. But what the publication does confirm is that there is a constant tension. For example, among figures like Luis Lizondo, who is a former official connected to the UAP issue, and David Roach himself, among others, who have insisted that everything be fully declassified. Look, obviously 100% declassification is not going to happen, especially when it involves technology that could reveal information or the military's own secrets. Now look, another interesting fact is that during that evaluation, they realized that the documents contained information from different agencies, not only from the Pentagon, but also from the DIA, the NSA, the NGA, the NRO, the NRA, DARPA, and from military criminal divisions. So we're talking about the fact that for some time now there have already been collaborations between intelligence agencies on these topics, but possibly this doesn't reach the average citizen, let's say. That's all. Just stays there among them. The consequence of the classic policy of there's nothing there. Well, that's not going to work anymore, right? Because it's clear that yes, there is. There are many things to see. And not only that, but you're also only showing me part of them. I mean, you're just showing me little pieces of things. So there's a lot more to observe. And yes, possibly a lot of this. For example, the FOIA case is still open with approximately 245 pages that are under review. Means they have more revelations. I mean, there are 250 pages that haven't been published. They still have to review them to see if there's no national security risk, and they're going to try to release them in an upcoming batch. We're not saying it's the fourth batch, but there's still a lot more to go. We should also remember that these days, David Grosh was supposed to speak, supposedly last week, but he didn't. He planned to reveal things but cancelled at the last minute. I'm not sure if it was due to pressure or something else. It happened, but well, there's still a conflict there, right? There still is. From what I understand, there are things that can't be shown, or I get it because of military reasons, but also there are other things from other times. Things that could be relevant and that also aren't shown in full either. Didn't Avi Loeb, the astrophysicist, already say it? By the way, they want him along with other scientists to try to bring together a group of scientists from different fields, including intelligence, including the military. So they can be in charge of explaining these phenomena because yes, the documents are there, but they don't have an explanation. I mean, you say there's no explanation. I mean, in many cases, bravo, Messi. If you liked it, that's great. Wherever you liked it, how have you been? Greetings to Rosebi Mako Sol Garcia from the community. Well, let's stay alert with this situation. Let's move on to other important topics as well. Important ones. Hey, so in the White House, there would be, let's say, well, a plot was being prepared, a plot in Washington. And look, it's already in the betting pools. Suggested, I don't know if they actually did it, but they suggested it on Twitter. They suggested on Twitter to place a bet about what time the attack would happen. Basically, well, I saw that on Twitter. On Twitter, there was a post going around suggesting they put the event on Polymarket, and they said, hey, so what time is the attack going to be? Because you know that many of Trump's public events have had, well, yes, serious incidents or attempts to attack him, etc. Since it was a UFC event with everything else they had there, well, music, well, I don't know if there was music in the end, no. But anyway, that was all that was missing.
All that was missing.
Easy for an attack to happen. If it happened at the one with this,
Motos.
Motos. In Nell, there's going to be an attack at an event where thousands of people are going to go. Right, but well, it turns out that yes, there was a plan and a very complex plan. He says that they, I think, arrested 15 people. Right now, we'll give the details. But to begin with, there are 5 people detained. There are obviously more suspects. But 5 people have been detained who had a plan to launch drones with explosives. There were snipers. Well, there were going to be snipers, I mean, from different states in the United States. They were planning a series of attacks that, if executed, would have been huge. How did it go? Well,
the idea, as you said, according to the details the FBI shared today they shared this, is that they were going to use these small drones with explosives and snipers to attack high-ranking government officials and wealthy attendees. 5 people charged are Tyson Estados Unidos, Daniel Preparando from Missouri, and Abraham Hermosillo Alvarez, Brian Omar Rowe, and Michelle Alan Thomas from California. Would one of them have? Ioanimi Topudicia Liweno, he has been arrested and is currently being held, obviously awaiting a judicial procedure. The sworn statements submitted in all 4 criminal cases detail the alleged plot that took place during the UFC event at the White House on Sunday. The documents detail numerous complaints.
Sorry, UFC Freedom 250, right? That's the name, isn't it?
That's the name of the event, yes. The documents detail numerous complaints against the government and federal officials, including the United States support for Israel. The handling of Jeffrey Epstein's files and data centers is a topic that's causing a lot of anger in the United States. No matter which political party you belong to, the issue of data centers is definitely causing frustration. And, well, the White House is reporting on this, right? And remember that the event was also held there. And among the possible targets mentioned in the documents that are known today are President Trump, J.D. Vance, the first Vice President, the Prime Minister of Israel, Benjamin Netanyahu, who did not attend, and Elon Musk. Several officials are also mentioned, such as the Senator from Tennessee, Marsha Blackburn, the Senator from Arkansas, Tom Cotton, and the member of the congressional delegation from West Virginia. Each one has been charged with at least 1 count of conspiracy to commit murder. Roper, who is only 19 years old, faces 3 additional charges, according to the documents. Well, Two police sources reported that during the execution of the search warrant, she's clean, she is 19 years old. Yes, they are very worn out by life. Well, during the execution of the search warrant, táctico a los sospechosos. The officers seized weapons, thousands of rounds of ammunition. Táctico a los sospechosos. Sources said they haven't recovered any drones. They haven't found drones, but supposedly there were some.
He was part of the plan. This is, by the way, Brian Rowe, another one of those arrested.
Yes. Also, if someone else was supposed to have the drones and couldn't find them, that's part of it too. Sources say the use of the drones was still being studied, so basically they didn't have the alibi and the investigators found out during the check. Thanks to Roper's mom, as I mentioned earlier, who was worried because he was acting strange. And well, she alerted the FBI.
He is Michael Thomas. Michael Thomas. These are at least the 5 people arrested, and it was thanks to one of their mothers that this plot was uncovered. The director of the Secret Service, Sam Curran, stated that the agencies had worked very closely with the FBI throughout this investigation, and that his formal comments about the details of this case will be available soon in the court documents, right?
And these kids, well, kids in quotes, because we don't really know how young they are.
Some of them at 19.
Well, yeah, supposedly 19, yes. They all got together. I mean, they met through TikTok. They had a group.
They have friends.
No, they don't. A group called Vanguard of the Old, whose members claim they want to protect the United States, that they believe the United States is heading in the wrong direction. And also in the chat where they coordinated. There are about 19 people dedicated to organizing the attack, and the smallest group is 4 to 5 people.
Is that what I was telling you? That's why there were 15 suspects, but only 5 have been arrested so far. Now then, maybe there are 19 people in the group. At least, yes.
Well, at least as far as taking action goes, that's still a very long road too.
Right? Yes. No, but if you're there, well, because you know a crime is going to happen, then you become involved. We'd have to see what the legal term is and how that applies. But the point is that a plot was being prepared. And I could bet that this is one of many that are lined up, basically getting ready. Why? Because even at the very beginning, when Trump was just starting, there was an intelligence warning about this. In fact, they'd already been talking about it since Biden and even since Trump's first term. The most important intelligence risk, or rather the biggest threat of attacks inside the United States, was no longer about Arab issues, but now the greatest risk was potential domestic terrorism. So what are these groups that are radical, whether they're against Democrats, Republicans, billionaires, or whatever, right? In the end, well, everyone has their own reasons. There they are. Groups with different, let's say, ideologies. But now they're not like they were after 2001. And before that, there were also many organizations that were more focused on Arab terrorism. I'm not saying they don't exist anymore, but now there are more of the other kind, domestic terrorism, so to speak. It's not just a matter of that. They also have to pay attention to internal security, national security, and other interesting issues as well. Risa. Amid everything that's happening in Washington, Donald Trump, the President of the United States, would be invoking a law that activates certain military matters, right?
The president has invoked the Defense Production Act, and this is because, well, considering that right now they have limitations regarding ammunition due to what was spent during the war with Iran. Several agencies have expressed concern about ammunition reserves and production rates. Well, as we've already mentioned here, it's something that takes a really long time. It can take years, for example, planes, tanks, and so on. This memorandum, which has been authorized by the Secretary of Defense, will use the Defense Production Act, which can be used to boost the production of key items. The memorandum states that this mechanism is justified by the fragile supply chain and the bottlenecks in production. they could harm the United States' ability to increase the availability of munitions, missiles, and equipment in case, well, here it says for national defense. It's striking, isn't it? Also because of the issue with Iran, because maybe they're not so sure. Maybe they're also using this time to try to speed up this process to rearm themselves, because they really have been left quite depleted. Well, according to reports, what if we sometimes need the collective wisdom of all the companies working together to solve our problems? We want them to provide us with the best advice from an industrial point of view. This is what Michael Cadenas, the undersecretary, says of Defense for Industrial Base Policy. In fact, just last Friday, there was a meeting between Donald Trump and the representatives of the companies that make weapons in the United States. I mean, it's already a topic that's come up in several meetings, and they want to speed things up. And well, now they're launching this law where this issue will be given priority.
Well, that's the issue. Also, stay alert about that. There's, well, a new approach in Europe, in China, in Russia. Well, not so new in Russia, but let's say that all military matters are also speeding up. Meanwhile, we also see this ship here. What we're observing here is an image that's rarely seen when they deliver it. Let's see, let's go to the video, right? In that kind of huge box, there's a shipment that even includes the letters that the soldiers receive, for example, among many other things, obviously, right? But that's a shipment that arrives, which they call cargo or vertical resupply at sea, because it arrives by helicopter. This would be on the USS Delbert D. Black, where a vertical resupply was being completed, meaning a helicopter arrives, descends a bit, and opens up. Let's say it drops the boxes there, and that's where they receive supplies. Obviously, essential ones like medicine or food, whatever is needed. Supplies arrive, and written letters arrive too. They send them to the soldiers and also other types of necessary items so that a ship doesn't need to reach a port when they don't want it to. A helicopter simply resupplies them, and that's how they get resupplied. Well, that's one of those images. What's curious is that the day it's shared by the US Central Command, or CENTCOM, the famous CENTCOM, which is the one over there in the Middle East. I mean, they're the ones who operate everything that comes in from military ships, talking about aircraft carriers, all the destroyers, all of that. They're the ones who operate them, who organize them. So suddenly they show some pretty interesting images like this one. Let's also move on to other important matters, because there's a que se aparecía Asia, the case of this woman, this Acacia, who has been found unfortunately dead in the United States, but who was one of the 12 scientists, so to speak, who were missed. Well, let's see. There's an update on that topic. Well, as you know, they reportedly found Melissa Cáceres, the remains of Melissa Cáceres. Practically after a year after her disappearance, they found her. Well, the remains were found. There was a weapon nearby, right? But now that they're doing the investigation, they start to reveal some things. And I have a series of problems because there's a private investigator involved. I mean, the family is kind of divided. So one side of the family, Cosas, they hired a private investigator, and that investigator has said things that Cáceres' daughter doesn't agree with. For example, whether there were family arguments or issues with the partner or things like that. So that's what this investigator has said. And the daughter says that's completely false. So, well, there are things like that that are very, very confusing. What does the police investigation say? Well,
but remember that among what they found is the skull of this woman, Melissa. And well, today they revealed something about this cell. According to the experts who have been examining the woman's body, they say they did not find the initial CT scan. They say it doesn't reveal any projectile in the skull because, well, the possibility of a suicide was being considered, right? Because she had a gun. And if this means that it wasn't lost, I mean, no bullets were missing. They didn't find any bullet fragments in the skull, nor did they find, well, a bullet wound in the which generally always leave a mark.
And the daughter says that's not the gun. It's not his.
It's them.
That she didn't have a gun. She didn't have weapons. She never bought a weapon. So that gun must belong to someone else. But now apparently that gun wasn't used against her. Now even so, the police say they're investigating, and the officer says it's just his personal opinion. He believes it's a crime. I mean, he really thinks what happened is a crime, but he says it's just an opinion. I mean, maybe he's seeing something, but he doesn't want to say it yet, I imagine. Because he says that he believes something.
Exactly, Brian. No, sorry, Ben Hansen, who is a former FBI agent, says that what they shared back then was suspicious. I'm not sure about giving a percentage, but I think there was an 80% chance it was a crime against someone who was depressed. Hansen adds that he has a theory. Obviously, it's just a theory that someone with access to advanced technology almost caused someone to lose their life. Or like a directed energy weapon that fires beams of microwave radiation or charged particles at its target.
Just imagine what we're talking about. Here we're talking about the possibility that a weapon using practically unknown technology might have been used, right? And for some reason they didn't use it against her. Why? She was considered part of those 12 disappearances involving scientists, although she herself wasn't a scientist, but she was in an area with, let's say, very limited access in the nuclear field. Over there, the atomic issue in New Mexico, right? Where, well, it was claimed, right? She was a person who had access, maybe even to secret matters. Now, well, who knows? I don't know. Time will tell. But the fact that supposedly an unknown weapon was used, well, that's still being investigated. So it's not confirmed yet. So what is confirmed is that they found her after a year and that she was one of those 12 people who were missing.
Exactly. He refers to the weapon we've discussed here multiple times, and Pepe has mentioned it. This technology that is capable of making a person hear a voice inside their head. So they say that this could have been used on her because everything she did is very out of character for what she usually did. The fact that she disappeared, that she left everything behind, all these strange things she did, well, it really draws attention. And she didn't have any history of this, of having done illogical things, so to speak.
I mean, in some way, because look, just in case it ever happens to you, right? Well, but there are a series of weapons that do that. I mean, that send out a wave in which a particular person can hear a voice. Yeah. So suddenly, just imagine it. Imagine that suddenly that voice starts talking and talking and talking to you until, I don't know, it convinces you of something, right? You get checked to see if you have schizophrenia or something, but everything's fine and you're healthy, though you're still unsure about the details. And you keep hearing that voice, right? So maybe they got it wrong, right? It would be really interesting to see what his daughter says. Obviously, it's something very complicated, but above all for the investigation, I imagine they should interview the immediate family to see what kind of behavior he had before this. Because surely he must have told someone if he experienced something strange. I'm sure he told someone. To someone, I suppose, right?
Exactly. That's what's being talked about regarding the hours before. She left her husband at the laboratory. This laboratory is super famous, the Los Alamos National Laboratory. When she gets there, she says, "Oh, I forgot my card, the badge to get in." But he says it seems really strange to him because to access certain areas, she should have brought her badge. Well, however, she tells him this, that she's going to go back home. She goes back, brings a meal to her daughter who works at a ranch in Taos. And she tells her that she's going to do the work at home. And from that point on, she doesn't know anything else about her. Well, obviously, according to what's been recorded, grabs her things, leaves her cell phones, leaves personal belongings there, and disappears into the forest.
And she thinks it's beautiful. I mean, so it wasn't like they said at first that she'd gone hiking or gone out to exercise. I mean, no.
Well, no, her daughter says she told her, I'm going to work from home because she said, well, I forgot my ID, so I'm going to work from home and I just didn't feel like going in. That's really striking. All right. Since it's known she went out for, because there's an image on Highway 518, which is about 3 miles from her house, where you can see her walking. She didn't have keys. She didn't have identification. She didn't have a purse. I mean, why would anyone go out with nothing?
Of course. No, no, no. I mean, and especially if you're going into the woods. I mean, obviously there's something strange here, a totally unusual behavior, right? And well, with time, we'll find out. But anyway, is there anything else? No, about this case. Well, we'll keep you updated, obviously. Let's move on to other important matters as well. Changing the subject, check out this little dog. I don't know if you notice anything strange.
That's why they say, right?
I'm not sure if you notice anything odd, but it's creepy.
No, not pretty. Really pretty. Look at those big eyelashes.
Just look.
Oh, how cute.
Well, that's where you should get off. Look, that's where you should get off. This one.
By the way, we're looking for a house.
Something about houses, looking for houses. Oh, but do they really have eyelashes like that?
Yes, they have eyelashes like that. Well, that's a schnauzer. So schnauzers have pretty long hair, right? If you trim it a certain way, you can keep big eyelashes. So if you have a schnauzer, leave the long eyelashes. See?
Yeah, it really does look like a Disney character there. It really does look like Disney. I mean, they leave the hair long around their eyes, and it looks like eyelashes.
But they're not eyelashes. I think if they left the haircut like that, then she looks really cute.
Yeah, yeah. Very flirty, very flirty. This little dog she's looking for a home, right? She's looking for a family, right?
This little dog has gone super viral, obviously, because she looks like a cartoon character.
Well, there you have it. Those are the curious news stories of the day, right? Let's move on to other important matters as well. Well, on the more intense topics, let's say, right? There's a tremendous situation happening over there in Africa, in the Democratic Republic of the Congo. An attacker, or rather a group of armed attackers, just look at what happened. A group of armed attackers reportedly kidnapped a woman and her 6-year-old daughter, who has tested positive for Ebola. So the mother and the child had confirmed Ebola, and then they go and kidnap them right in the center. What kind of healthcare is there in the Democratic Republic of the Congo? Obviously, the alerts are at the highest level because it's a double alert. One for the kidnapping and another because of the spread. This could cause there. The authorities say there's a serious danger of the outbreak spreading after the assault in the northern kibbutz where these infected people were taken. Just imagine what we're talking about. Well, and we still needed to talk about the Democratic Republic of the Congo. They don't know yet, up to now. They still don't know the magnitude of the outbreak. I mean, they have no idea.
Yeah.
They have nothing. How many cases have died? How many? I mean, they don't know. They already admit that they know absolutely nothing, that everything is just estimates, like just going with the flow. Yeah, exactly. I mean, they're basically just rough estimates because they really say there's nothing solid. Look, people are escaping. People are forcibly taking the bodies of family members who died from Ebola and taking them away by force. I mean, there's tremendous chaos. And look, they say if things keep being this out of control for the next 2 months, then the outbreak is going to move toward the southern part of Africa and with consequences. Well, who knows where else, right? But there is a significant concern in that regard, right? Also, moving on to other matters, well, there's a person who lost their life and 2 survivors in a new attack by the United States against a vessel in the Pacific. Those attacks are carried out through SUTCO, or the Southern Command in this operation called Southern Spear. Do you remember? The operation is supposedly against terrorist groups, which they call organized crime groups or suspects. Just being a suspect is enough for them to go and attack. By the way, there have been several attacks on fishermen from Ecuador and other regions with explosives, but then they ask who attacked, and nobody says a thing. They say, well, it wasn't us, and I hadn't even asked them, right? But how? But obviously. But still. I mean, obviously, who would attack a group of fishermen with explosives, and those explosions come out of nowhere, with explosive drones that come out of nowhere? I mean, who could have that capability? Don't you wonder who it might be? Drones don't just appear out of nowhere in the middle of the sea. Obviously not. But well, that's not acknowledged, right? When there are attacks like that, and not even a single one. Excuse me, but obviously that can be investigated, and it can be determined where those drones were being controlled from. If there's a clear forensic investigation, there will be answers. I'm not sure Ecuador's government will investigate, since they also have ties to Trump. Maybe they want to hide that, right? That's what I'm saying too. We'll see if the president does his job. Hopefully he will, but maybe not, right? But now there was a military operation in the Eastern Pacific Ocean against a vessel allegedly linked to an organized crime group, in which one person lost their life and 2 others survived, according to what is known. This is a described operation. They called it a lethal kinetic attack. That's what they called it. So far, about 200 people have lost their lives. 63 attacks have taken place. And well, that's also part of what we're experiencing now, isn't it?
And well, several military personnel have resigned now. They say no, they didn't retire, but several have resigned.
Yes, I mean military personnel who disagree with these kinds of operations and with how they're being carried out. Another thing that stands out is that there was a campaign by Likud, right, over there in, what's it called? In Israel, right? Which is Netanyahu's party, where, you know, during the campaign, they're going to the elections. It's not Netanyahu. And in the campaign, I mean, in the ads they were going to put up in Israel, they were going to feature Netanyahu hugging, you know, Trump. And like, look, I mean, yeah, kind of saying, look, if you vote for Benjamin, well, we're going to keep being very good friends with the United States. Everything is fine. You know, that's how it was. That was the advertising that was planned. The hook, that was the hook. But in the last few days, they haven't been getting along at all. So much so that the famous agreement, which really isn't an agreement, it's this pre-agreement. Let's not even call it that. They've wanted to pass that information to Israel. Israel has officially requested it, and they've been told no, that they are not going to give it to them. Imagine that. They're allies in this war, yet they won't share details about their agreement with the enemy. What's going on? What's the situation?
Well, what's being reported is that the decision to cancel the campaign was made several days ago when Trump was talking about the terms of the Iran agreement, which many in Israel consider are not, that they're not good for Israel. And well, what he said today, I think, also puts an end to the possibility of doing that kind of campaign with Trump. And today he said that, well, Israel, if it weren't for the United States, wouldn't even exist anymore, and so on, not taking this into account. The leaders of they even considered that Netanyahu's close ties with Donald Trump were not good for new voters and did not increase the chances of winning this year. At the end of this year
Well, the elections and the elections. Well, that's how it is, right? That's how things are. There's clearly a clash between Netanyahu and Trump that's already leading to something.
Exactly. And remember that Trump told him he was crazy, that he would be in jail if it weren't for him. And even though Netanyahu said, no, that's a lie, that wasn't said, well, the next day Trump literally forgets the promise, goes out and says it.
But anyway, let's move on to other important matters as well.
Let's go to...
They keep going. The celebrations keep going. let's say. And also, well, the demonstrations, whether they're celebrations or anger or whatever you want. Look over here, higher up. Look here. This one from Twitter is from Mundo Conflicto. They post this image. It's another image of the madness. This is with the Algerians, right? Hundreds of fans are also in Kansas. Those are in Kansas, Algerians in Kansas. But why are they celebrating? Or are they not celebrating? Are they angry?
When before
Already? Yes. Well, the Algerians there are also putting on this whole display with lights and everything. In Kansas, the Algerians are getting very intense. Well, that topic draws attention. Or well, like that, right? That's how the celebrations were between this game of Algeria and Argentina. Which, by the way, how did it end? Did they finish third already?
Third, well, right now on social media, they're questioning whether Messi should have been given a red card because he gave a nasty kick to an Algerian player.
Oh yeah. Greetings, it says here. Alex G says he hasn't lost anything. Greetings to G. Greetings to Alex G. How are you, he says. I'm probably going to go to the Supreme Court to protest along with a lot of people all the time. Oh, and there are protests.
I just need to take the subway, which is a mess to get there.
Yes, I can imagine. Hello, how have you been?
Alex G says it's the subway. Well, yes, but how did the Hidalgo station end up?
Yeah, it turned out great.
Very elegant,
Well, that's what they say, right?
with a chandelier.
Oh, that has a chandelier now. We have to, it says it was the red one for the muscular guy. It says,
That's true. Well, yes, I am seeing that the little piece look.
well, yes.
Let's see, we can't show it because FIFA is really whiny about that.
Look at the foot.
Ah, you really hit it hard.
And who was that for?
That one is, for Messi.
For Messi. Yeah, I mean, it is too.
They say they turn a blind eye to him.
No. With him, with Christian, with all the star players, the refs won't call anything on them, right? That's a reality. That's really a reality, right? Nobody wants to call out any of the star players. Now, if they do something too obvious like that, well, that's what VR is for, right? Yeah. Hey, you check and you can't do that, right? And look, there have already been many cases where suddenly you see an image like that and there's a caution afterward, right? Because, no. Well, let it stop, right? He says it's from the meteor shower in Smashville. How have you been, Charlie? Very good. Greetings also to my namesake, Jose Gonzalez. Greetings, thank you very much. Felix Terrazas as well. Big greetings. Well, let's move on to other matters, right? Let's go to other topics. Let's go to otros temas también importantes. What could go wrong? Look,
This one is FIFA likes to play with fire.
hey, they're planning to do it with the under 17s, I think. Under 15s. With the under 15s, they want to have a match between Palestine and Israel. That's the plan they have. And I think they wouldn't do one with the adult national team, let's say, because I also don't think there are enough good adult players right now. Honestly, it's been really tough. But anyway, they would do one with the under 15 team. With Palestine and Israel, I don't know. What things do you think could go wrong there? Honestly, I have a pretty long list myself. Greetings, how have you been, Panterita? Hello there, greetings. Leonardo Bebe says, I want to know if you have read about Socrates and Plato. I'm very interested in your view of informed democracy. Leonardo says, how have you been, Leonardo? Greetings. Well, yes, it's been a long time, but yes. Honestly, if you gave me a test now, I'd probably fail. But I've had to kind of pick it up again, but through my oldest son, who lately, because of school and all that, has to use it pretty often. And he tells us some stories that, honestly, we don't remember anymore. He says, it seems that Zapatero is implicated along with Nelcy Rodriguez and Venezuelan officials in gold and oil trafficking and money laundering, says Martin.
That's already known.
Honestly, it was already known, but let's say it was an open secret, right? Yes.
But we've talked about that so many times for, 3 years now? Yeah.
What?
Yeah, it's been a while. Greetings to Panterita. How are you, Panterita says. Pepe won't stop crying, Panterita says.
Greetings, Panterita. Hey, where else is it raining besides Mexico City?
It is in Mexico City. Yes, in Mexico City. Greetings, and tell them they already know me at the public prosecutor's office. They already know you there.
They know you there, Charlie.
Over there,
What's up, Miles? What's up, Miles? What's up?
Felix Terraza, awesome. Hello there. So what else? My love?
Greetings to, well, Tapatia, let's greet her too. Sylvia Manta says, happy for Lionel Andres Messi. I'm from Rosario, Argentina. His city, the city where he grew up.
Greetings, Sylvia. How have you been? Hello there.
Greetings to MT, how are you?
Greetings.
He says the minister, the public prosecutor, is betting on wearing us down and dropping the case because the state has obligations to protect us. He says in case of protection, they have an obligation to make amends for the damage. But what was the damage, right? Let's go, but if I have to camp outside the public prosecutor's office, I'll be there. I know how to protest. I'm not going to give up. But what was the issue?
What was the detail? We'll check it right now to see if they can pull it up for us. On the other hand, let's move on to other important matters as well. Right now, they're accusing the central headquarters of Al-Qatan Qatam al-Albiya of Iran. They claim or insist that the agreement is practically broken. The agreement between the United States and Iran. Why? Because they insist that in southern Lebanon, Israel has carried out 84 attacks against Hezbollah. And in 2 consecutive days. That's it. I mean, 48 hours, 84 attacks. Given this, they just say continuing the agreement isn't possible. Officially, the agreement hasn't been broken, but it's on the verge of happening, and it's close. It's Tuesday. Tuesday is Tuesday. I mean, it's going to be on Friday, the trip to Switzerland. If Sweden is the place they're going to, it's one. If it's in Switzerland, but it's a place, well, a mountain there, and they're going to make this agreement. Supposedly they'll sign it. But every day, more reasons appear suggesting they won't, right? So that's something we have to consider too. Another issue is that Hillary Clinton, who has basically been or has been out of the spotlight for a long time, now comes out and reacts to the situation in Gaza, right? Yes, it draws a lot of attention because, well, she says, well, what did I do?
Well, what she says is that she gave an interview and then she mentioned 2 or 3 interesting points. But anyway, she says that the 20-point plan that Trump presented for the Gaza issue, she says that it's actually a good plan. She says
the reconstruction
of all that mess is a reality, a path towards security for Israel, reconstruction for Gaza, and the possibility of self-determination for the Palestinians. I know a lot of people reject it because it was done by Trump, but it's the only option on the table. There are no others. I mean, basically saying, well, she has the ability to criticize and say, well, I might not like her. She may have done this and that, although, well, that's understandable in front of the cameras. I think that's the reality. But she accepts it's done and the move worked out well for her.
Yeah, I mean, she says they don't want to accept it because it's Trump. I mean, a lot of people. But supposedly, at least for her, she says she sees that possibility as a good thing. Well, that's how things are. And that's just the way it is. Quickly, changing the subject, is there's a controversy with FIFA and Tepito because they want to sue Tepito, right? Or supposedly FIFA wants to sue.
It's getting all worked up and they're trying to sue everyone who makes a little money because they want it too. And, well, that's what they want. They've filed a lawsuit against Tepito. I don't know how they're going to do it. Obviously, it's because they're selling shirts that aren't official. But, well, those are the ones most Mexicans can afford. Well, for the Mexicans who go to Tepito, it's the best option. They're not going to spend over 1,000 pesos on a shirt, right? So, well, they go to Tepito and buy the one for 150, 200 pesos.
It says here that IMP is carrying out an anti-piracy operation outside the Ciudad de Mexico stadium, even outside the stadium. Yes,
The stadium, if they don't go, they go elsewhere.
They have to get in. So that
there's an interview out there. I think it's with a Chilean guy who's interviewing people around Tepito.
He talks like Juan Verdad.
He looks like him. And so to everyone wearing a national team jersey, the original question, or here in Tepito. And there wasn't anyone who said original, right? I mean, you know that everyone, Tepito. Maybe because they're in Tepito, right? But let's just say that's how it is. That's the way things are. So let's move on to the comments. Yeah, no. I mean, Clinton has always been very connected with, well, with Israel. But yeah, there's no doubt about that. What's interesting now is that, I mean, Trump gets along so badly with Clinton that I don't know what kind of reaction there will be in that regard. Greetings. How have you been?
I don't know if it's a woman or if that's what they're saying.
The other thing. Greetings, Breseca says the Adidas ones are super expensive. I mean, we're talking about, I don't think they said they were always around 200 pesos each.
From Tepito, yes, more or less around 100 and something.
200 at most. And the FIFA ones, well, the original ones, let's say those go for over 1,000 as far as I know.
Yes, I saw them for over 1,000, maybe a bit more at an outlet store or Abletos this past weekend. If they're occupied, you say no. I get that it's supposed to be more discounted since it's the original, but there's only a small discount. But the one that did have it for a while at a good price was Costco. They had it for 400 pesos, but that was about 3 months ago. And they sold out, right?
Yes, I saw them.
Yes, I saw them. Yes.
I actually saw them at that company and even said maybe they're not original.
Well, I mean,
Those were from before last year. I mean, they have like, what's it called? Like years, right? Models. So maybe it was an old model. Who knows which one they made, how they made it.
well, there it is.
Tell them that because of threats, I had to leave my house. And if there is no solution from the prosecutor's office, they would have to pay compensation. So with your apartment, you're still dealing with that issue, right?
It still hasn't been resolved. How tough. I mean, how terrible. Yeah. And I've seen that there are people out there, people who go around, well, people who are in charge of recovering, right? Apartments and houses and that kind of thing. Supposedly legally, from what I understand. I mean, because they're kind of like lawyers, but with groups from different areas, let's say security and other areas too. But of course, they take a commission, I imagine. I don't know how they do it, but yeah, that's crazy. Well, I hope everything turns out well. Greetings to Alice as well, and to anyone who has had a problem like Alex's and can give us tips on how they solved it. Anna says you treated Tepito like a company. She notes you mentioned many merchants who won't snitch, so just let the ship get messed up. Yeah. Yes, it's just that. No, it's like they don't even understand the concept, right? Of what, well, greetings. Hello, Sarah. How have you been? Very good. Greetings to the whole community that's joining. What's up? He says don't spend money and get all the Christmas ones. He says,
Yes. What happened is that a kid went viral during the first game in Mexico because he went to celebrate wearing a green and white Christmas sweater.
Yeah.
That's right. And well, yes, it went super viral. In fact, the kid already got the official jersey as a gift and all that. But that's why he says we should wear Christmas stuff.
well, that's the thing. He says they're in 2000. And let's see if it really takes off. 1,000. No, you got a 200 discount.
No, well, it's not if it is. Leonardo Pepe says, I was looking at several team jerseys and the one I like the most is Ivory Coast's. What do you all think? Not being a fan of any of them.
Sometimes that's how it is. I haven't seen them. I'll have to check them out. And you will a lot. They are...
Greetings to Dais. By the way, in the next match, when Messi scores, he will probably become the top scorer of all time in the World Cups because right now he's tied with someone else.
Yes, it's...
One's missing. I've always liked the one from the Netherlands for the orange, but it's actually from Ivory Coast, right?
Yes.
It's Ivory Coast. Tapatia says, well, in Guadalajara, there are people selling jerseys on every corner. Are they going to sue them? Yes. Well, there too.
Yeah, I don't know. It's hard. Look, this would be the one from Ivory Coast. Well, I don't know if it's the same. Let's see. No, that's not it. Let's see. There it is. Look.
It's from Puma.
Yeah, from Puma. That's weird.
I thought they were all from Adidas.
Well, I don't know. Or maybe it's just this one. Maybe I'm using the wrong example. I don't know.
Yes, it says Ivory Coast.
Yeah. Well, who knows, right?
But the home jersey says so.
Home, yeah.
Who knows?
When it's their turn, that's it.
That's it? Is that it? Is that it? Japan says it's very strong. Alex says so. You know, asking around, you see all those forecasts and all that, right? And asking about that, about which country would have the most potential to be a surprise. There were two countries that kept coming up in all the predictions. Morocco and Japan. And yeah, I mean, last World Cup, if I'm not mistaken, the Moroccans made it to the semifinals. And Japan, well, I mean, they're very well organized. Supposedly they're strong too, right? So we'll see what happens with that. He says it's fake. He says it's Pama. He says it's Pama. What is that?
No, it's Puma.
It's Puma.
Puma, right? Puma. But like that. It's Puma, right?
They say that the original fan version costs 2,000, but the player version costs 3,000.
Crap. Awesome. It's not awesome.
He says, MT, you should go to FIFA there in Tepito, say hi, and tell them you're suing to see what happens. That's what MT says. Yes. Greetings to Roblox, who says they're exaggerating. The jerseys are ridiculously expensive. You have to be a real fan to buy those Rex. Yeah, because he says it's only for a month, so it's not worth it.
No. Well, in Tapatien, it's not just about any goals. It's about goals in World Cups. So, the top scorer in a World Cup is Miroslav Klose.
Who is that?
He's German, from Germany, 16 goals. That is the top scorer or scorers in history. Look, I have it here on the list. Here are the top World Cup scorers, right? Only from World Cups. And Messi is already tied, right? And so is Ronaldo Nazario from Brazil, 15 goals. Gerd Müller, 14 goals. Kylian Mbappé, France, 14 goals. Is Mbappé going to play? Yes, I suppose so. Yes. They could catch up to Messi too, right? Because the difference isn't that big either. Just Fontaine, also 13 goals. Well, there they are, right? Those are, let's say, the list of top scorers. And, well, you don't see, not even close. What's his name? Cristiano. I don't know how many Cristiano has, but he'd need to score a huge amount of goals. And then maybe, if not exactly, let's see. He said, probably Messi's thing is if Mbappé doesn't score 13, yeah, exactly. Unless he really turns it on and scores 14 or 15. Yeah, exactly. With just 3 goals, he can also tie Messi. So it's going to be between Mbappé and Messi. Well, that'll be interesting, won't it? And what else?
Greetings to says Pepe. I was thinking, and now I know how they're going to solve the issue of unemployment. Everyone will make weapons. That's the solution. Problem solved.
Right? Problem solved there. Greetings, Leonardo. How have you been? Italo from Chile says, Pepe, in Chile there's a controversy about trafficking of Haitian children during the Boric and Bachelet governments. That's crazy. Well, we should check that, right? Because no, I haven't heard anything about what he's saying. He says, well, another goal, and he breaks the record. Yes, exactly. But Mbappe, who is also playing, well, he's close too. So let's see. Let's watch.
Look, Japika Laura says, well, she's enlightening us here with her knowledge. She says they're the original eyelashes on schnauzers, and many people like them for that. She adds they take great care of the eyelashes. I rescued one and I thought that was just a haircut, but no, they're actually eyelashes. That's crazy. You know, a cousin of mine had one, but it was a male, and I don't remember what she was studying, but I do remember it had eyelashes. Just not as exaggerated as this little dog. She's just too cute. Alex says that during the week, I'll send you Azteca Stadium photos and videos this week. It's near my family's house. Go ahead and send them so we can see and share them.
Here, to share it. Yes, he says, greetings. How are you? Jose Zarate says, good evening to the Pepenatos. Very good. Thank you, Jose. Hey, namesake. How have you been?
Say greetings. He says, it's a way for people to make some money. It would look really bad. And I think we Mexicans wouldn't like people who really need it to have their jobs taken away.
Of course, exactly. Greetings.
Besides, why would they care if it's more? What are they paying them? 100 pesos, 200?
If you're not in that situation and they take them away, it's not an issue.
People aren't going to buy it.
No, that's why people won't just magically have 2,000 pesos to pay for a truck or shirt, since it's not just for them.
It's within the family.
It's the sun. What are they? Pesos. Just for shirts. No, it wouldn't cost them anything to give a discount. Right? And first try to win them over, let's say, in another way. He says, Baby Pepe, did something happen to your eye? Look, I've told this story many times. Again.
Yes, but Vix is here every day.
Vix, that's it. It's there, right?
It's a racket hit.
If you're going to bring her, let your mom know. Yeah, a hit with a racket,
I've seen the racket after.
I've seen how the other guy ended up, right? No. Well, a racket shot. Just look, there it is. A hit with a racket that got me right here.
Since you did it that way, the blood might have spread out.
I'm not sure, but this is where I got hit. But here, well, It went away immediately. And then the next day. Well,
Actually, it didn't swell, even though I've seen others usually do.
no, yes, it did swell up. It actually hides a lot in the fold I inherited from my family. Yeah. And well, that's how it is, right? Yeah, a hit with a racket. A hit with a racket from Friday. But now let's see how long it takes to come out. He says, well, what you do realize. Now I understand why you guys, well, and also in many cultures, men do it too, that you line your eyes. I mean, because it makes your eye stand out a lot more, right? Like, look, this eye looks cooler than this one. I mean, and it stands out. No, obviously not. But it stands out. I mean, you know how the Egyptians and
Yes, I know.
you know it. Also, the Japanese use it. Japanese or Koreans, I don't remember. I mean, because well, they're always bragging that they use makeup and all that
Yes, they do.
of another kind. Yeah,
Another kind of make.
but the one that the Egyptians use is kind of.
It's called kol. I think it's like a kind of ash.
And American football too, but it's here.
Well, that's another thing.
It's so the sun doesn't reflect on you as much. Anyway, what do you know about the Gaia theory and James Lovelock? Greetings, Martin. No, I'm not really into that topic. So yeah, I've heard about it a little, but I haven't really, not enough to like have a conversation about it. I wouldn't have anything in mind right now. Martin, what do you think? Let us know.
Verderi says FIFA is part of the new world order. Verderi says greetings, Verderi.
No, it won't be from the old one. I think that's how I see it. Yeah,
It stayed with him.
I see it more as from the old order.
Right? Old, super filthy too. Leonardo, he says, Daddy, it was already seen that in a country, I don't know if it was Armenia or Albania, there were protests. It's going to be in Armenia, right? It's in Armenia. There are protests over a hotel and something that's going to be Donald Trump's playing. Yes, Albania, yes, Albania. Albania, in fact, that's where it all...
It's a huge resort. I mean, in a very beautiful protected area of Albania, where there are flamingos, there are a lot of very beautiful little animals.
Right? Exactly. And everything, let's say the boom happened because in an interview, Ivan Catron was showing off the place saying, oh yes, we already have it there. I don't know what, we're building. And yes.
He thought he could just do it.
He thought he could just do it. And obviously everyone starts asking how, where to? And no, well, that's how it goes. Yes. And the European Union told him that if he turns it into a place like the one that's going to be made, well, or the one that was going to be made, well, let's say it doesn't comply with European Union law.
No, it's just that it's destroying an area. I mean, an area that's protected, that's forbidden for all Albanians. I mean, no Albanian can build there. Not the rich, not the poor, no one. I mean, nobody can build there. But this group of investors, which already includes Ed Kushner, Donald Trump's son-in-law, investing there, well, in that case, they did give them permission to do whatever they wanted in the area. So the protests have been going on for about 3 weeks. I mean, it's already been weeks and weeks and weeks. And now they've started a supposed investigation, which we'll see if it's not just one of those investigation files. Bless you.
They lead to nothing. Castillo de Guillermo says Pepe with the Illuminati eye.
Yeah. Right. You see, do you think they play tennis? I mean, do you think they like to play tennis or something? I don't know. He says Koreans get surgery to make their eyelids and eyes more open. Yeah. It's very, very common.
That surgery.
Yes.
Greetings to Miguel Alejandro. How are you? Angie, Armando Antonio Bru is also here. Marce Mar, how are you?
Hello.
And also greetings to Armando Antonio, greetings to Rublo MX, and also to Master Halo. He says, apologies to everyone who believes I have never believed in either, nor in other high-quality videos.
I understand. No, they're referring to UFOs. Yes, I respect all the comments, right? To each their own. There are indeed many videos of very good quality, really good quality. Since the 50s, there have been film recordings of very good quality.
But there are some photos, do you remember?
English ones. There are videos of extremely good quality. Yes, maybe you're not interested in the topic. I think it's better to say, you know what, I'm not interested in the topic. I believe you then. You're not interested. But if you are interested in the topic, you must have seen a lot of high quality images recorded by officials, journalists, or researchers. So yes, they do exist. The thing is to look for them, right? The thing is, but yeah, if you can't remember off the top of your head, well, you haven't seen them, right? But yes, there are quite a few, right? It's like saying you don't believe in hummingbirds because you've never seen a good picture of one, But just because you haven't seen it doesn't mean it doesn't exist. They're there. Do some research. Look, yes, there really are pictures. So yes, they do exist. You just have to look for them, right? If you're ever interested in the topic, do some research. You'll find a lot of high quality images, I insist, from the 40s and 50s up to now, right? I mean, yes, there really is a lot.
That little duck with the national team shirt. Wow, I've seen him in all the media, in The Guardian.
With his shirt on.
Right, everyone has, they have the picture of the duck. Yes, that's been known here for some time.
Yes, yes, yes. Greetings too.
Who do we want to greet? Maria Angelica Sanchez. How are you? Greetings. Greetings also to my sister. We're giving you a shout out on screen. The screen's flooded with greetings. Greetings also to my sister Patricia as well. How are you?
Greetings. Greetings.
And Don Hellboy, how are you? Hellboy DF. It's the little duck.
The little duck has become famous
Very famous.
here in Mexico because she goes around with a family and, well, she accompanies them. Let's say she's part of a Mexican family and she's always wearing her national team jersey and the little duck goes everywhere.
She always wears an apron in front that says Ciel because they sell water.
They sell water.
Yes, they go around whenever there are events or something, they take advantage of it, right? To make a little extra money. And Panterita said she posted a picture of a puppy that's looking for an owner.
Okay. It's in the area. They're in the community area. Okay, got it. We'll check it out. Let's see.
Yes, greetings. He says, tell them that I'm about to release my first YouTube video. The audio has been hard for me. He says, tell them it's a hassle. The audio thing is a hassle. It is.
Es un rollo lo
Es
del
un
audio.
rollo.
Sí. Yes. So how are you going to handle the audio? I mean, what's the plan there, Alex?
Greetings to Martin, who says that the superorganisms would be 3 and Atlas, and the Earth. It's super interesting. Well, it's another type of life, says Martin. Greetings.
Greetings, Martin. Very good.
Greetings also to OFE. Nostra Bola also says, I recommended an anime to Pepe, but I think he's like those people who criticize UFOs. But just because it's anime, says Nostra Bola. Which one?
Which one would it be? Because for me,
For me,
if I like them the most. For me, if I like anime the most. Yes. Well, it's this one. And the thing is, I have a very long list.
there's one that my son is really looking forward to, the one that was just added to Netflix.
Popular Nostra Bola.
Jujutsu Kaisen. Who knows how it is now? I don't know. Greetings to we, but I know you don't know, which is why I asked.
No, how do you know? How do you know?
Because you don't know her.
How do you know I don't know her?
Have I seen him already? You haven't seen. I have seen him already. Because every time you see it,
Yes, I've already
I like that of.
of jujitsu.
Yes, she has powers. No. I'm doing very well.
Lost. He travels through time. Yes.
You already realized that, right?
Please go out and deny it. Says Wiko, Pepe Live greetings. I have a suggestion for the channel. Why don't you have dinner earlier and give us more time on the live stream? Because many of us get home late from work and we like watching the live stream, says Wiko.
Yes. Well,
He's saying, do you see what that's about?
No.
but I'm looking into it to talk about it, to see if I should mention it.
But I don't know, jujitsu.
Jiu-jitsu? What do they say? You've seen it already. No, we haven't, right? Remember? Jiu-jitsu? What do they say? No. What is it? Anime.
Thank you very much, too.
Rublos.
For gifting 5 memberships. No, that's awesome. Thank you so much, brother.
Buenísimo.
Dice-
Muchísimas gracias. Oye, by the way, no, who knows which one our grandma is talking about. Let's see if she can tell us right now, and we'll stick with the one that says jiu-jitsu. Well, it is.
Yes, beautiful.
Yes, it's adorable. It's a small dog seeking an owner. Or a new family. This is in Mexico City. Panterita posted it. It says, this little dog is lost. I'm going to upload it to Facebook to see if I can find its owner.
Huskies. Well, I think here in Monterrey, but it's probably the same in every state. They're the dogs that get lost the most. They're the dogs that go missing the most. And lately, they're the ones you see most as stray dogs because they're hard to contain. I mean, they really like to get out to jump out, and they'll go with anyone. They're easy like that.
Yes,
Yes. So if you have one, explore.
they really like to explore.
If you have one, just know that it's basically guaranteed because if they're in a place that's easy to escape from, they're going to escape. Greetings today, so who says, right now the match between Austria and Jordan is on. 1-0 in favor of Austria. They just scored an amazing goal, says Deiso. Greetings to Deiso.
Greetings to everyone. So how many are going there?
1-0.
1-0. Awesome. And who won the membership?
Let's see. Who won it? Castillo, Guillermo, Dante, 31, Sixe, Carlos Arce. Arce. Well, Carlos Arce also won it. Newsbread, Juan Eric, VO, 1-6, and that's it. Thank you very much.
Great, thank you very much.
Alba says, today it was on Televisa that those who want to hire the ugly duckling from FIFA are looking for him today. He had an appointment at 2 in the afternoon to talk with them.
Look,
See, the little duck is getting famous already.
they say they arrive, and they arrest the duckling for wearing a fake shirt.
Yeah, maybe.
It's a trap. Don't go, don't go.
He says, record the audio and assemble it with the video. I made a story with images of her.
Okay. She made a little roll.
Oh, yes, of course.
Of course. Macro Zero is the one our group recommended to you.
Okay, macro cero.
I agree.
Yes, I have it written down. Yes, I wrote it.
But whatever you want, stop fighting already.
Greetings, says Leonardo Pepe. And those phrases, wise sayings. I prefer to be the victim of an injustice than to be guilty of one. Socrates. Very good.
Very good. Cachorrito says panterita says perito.
Look, yes, there's macro zero and there's macros plus. Macro zero. And you told us that macro zero should be watched first, right? Yes, that's what I remember. And here it is. Here's the list. It's a long list, right? But yeah, I have to convince my oldest son, who's the one that puts on the anime for us, to watch it. And yeah, I've mentioned Macross to him. But right now he's busy with university and everything, so it's kind of tough. I'll try to convince him. If not, I'll look for it myself. There's a list of anime we still need to watch. For example, the one we really like, Attack on Titan. Yeah. That Attack on Titan one has 8 extra episodes that aren't, let's say, in the main series, but are... So we just found out about that. But we're going to watch those 8 episodes. So things keep getting added to the list. And then also, besides the newer movies, we still need to watch. So it all keeps piling up. I want to watch this other one. It's kind of from the 80s. It's an anime about these like giant robots that they get into. Do you remember? We watched a couple of episodes. It's a bit slow compared to today's anime.
The really old one, the old one.
Yeah, the really old one, but they're really good. I liked how it was going, and I want to finish it. I want to finish that one. What else do I have pending? Like the main ones. Was this one called too? The one with zombies?
You mean Neon Genesis Evangelion?
Evangelion. Yes, exactly. Evangelion. Yes, we still have several pending. Which other one? The one you really like too. The one that's very cinematic.
Yes, the Demon Slayer ones are still missing.
We're missing the movie or movies? I'm not sure if it's 1 or 2.
They're really good.
I mean, the very top is Attack on Titan, and then Demon Slayer. Yeah, it's also really good. Humberto says, what will the weather be like?
What's the weather going to be like? Where?
Here in Monterey.
Pepe says, what do you think about Spirited Away?
It's really good. I like it a lot. All of them from the house. What's it called? No.
This one, in this, Studio Ghibli.
Studio Ghibli movies are great, she says.
Joke. They're really good. I haven't seen them all, but I've seen several.
I think that's all.
I'm missing this.
The one you saw, but I haven't. And you said it's really good.
Yes, oh yes.
Grave of the Fireflies.
I'm missing that one, or the one that goes to the... We've even seen some lesser known ones. We've tried to watch them all.
Yes, because for a while Netflix uploaded all of them, or most of them, right? Yes, maybe some are missing, but they take advantage of it too.
Make memes.
The one about the raccoons, it's really good. The dad says, no, it's a joke. Doctor, my left testicle hurts. You're mistaken. I'm a doctor of law. That's pretty advanced. I go to the doctor because...
So you're a doctor of law, right?
Yes.
No, that's health. Nova's dad.
Tell us whether it's going to rain or not.
He says, oh no, sorry.
Didn't he say here in Monterey?
Let's see. He says, I'm just saying, since all the UFO topics you bring up are related to Macro Zero, now there's a CIA investigation about human genes in some families. That's crazy, Nostra Volase. You had told me, you're right.
Let me look it up for you.
Let me grab this comment too, Nostra. And I'm going to take a picture of it to remind you to have it here. Yes.
Because it's the kind of thing later. You don't remember what they said or which movie or series it was from. Alex says, another problem I had was that I don't have a professional camera and editing the video. So it looks good, but it took me almost 3 months, but I learned. Alex says, that's good, Alex.
That's great, Alex. I mean, you don't need a professional camera. No. I'm telling you, you don't need a camera. Yeah. I would recommend a mid-range or high-end phone instead, if possible. It doesn't have to be new. It can be 2 or 3 years old, and it'll work just as well as a new one. I mean, you don't need the latest phone, and it really cuts down the cost. Or a tablet, also a mid-range tablet. That's enough to do it. And the cool thing about a tablet is that it's easier to edit on, at least for me, at least compared to a phone, right? If you already have a PC, then all you need is your phone. Focus more on sound quality. That's where you should invest. And it's not that much either, because a good lavalier, what else do they call it? This teacher, no, I mean the microphone, those lapel, clip-on ones. There are some with a cable that connect to your phone and cost around 200 or 300 pesos. On Amazon, and probably on Mercado Libre too. And those are good. Just make sure it actually connects to your phone specifically. Those last you about 2 years or so. I mean, if you use them regularly, maybe a year if you don't take care of them, but they can easily last you 2 years and the sound is good. It's not perfect. It doesn't have a lot of bass, but it sounds pretty decent. So with that, that's what I would start with. If I were starting from scratch, that's what I would use: a phone and one of those little microphones, and that's it. You don't need anything else, right? And practice a lot. I mean, practice a lot. Like that, you record just 1, 2, 3, 10, 20, 30 videos, and you don't necessarily have to upload them. And again and again and again until you feel you found your style, the one you like, the one you want to reach. Because no, not because you speak perfectly, but because you feel like yourself, right? Speaking as yourself. Just say this. Our thing, the first family is to do a DNA test. It was mine. You can look it up on Family Trenda, where it started in 1925, and where my mijos was not the best friend of San Martin and Hoggins, where he was the one who financed freedom. What liberation? What happened? What happened? Do you have any left for yourself? How was that in Nuestra Bola? I didn't get that part. He says this. I sent you a photo on Twitter. Let's check it out. Let's see it. Greetings to the... Say hi to you. Let me check it. Greetings.
You know what else? He also says greetings. Yes, he says I used a lot of changes in camera shots. And he also says, oh, wait. I know. Through logic, Lotaro, no, I don't know what they're talking about here. Greetings. Let's keep going. Greetings to everyone. Let's see. Look, says there. Let's see. Yes, I worked on the audio a lot. I use egg cartons to isolate the sound. It worked great. They lent me some panels, but egg cartons are better.
Yes, the egg carton.
What's up, boss?
It says the World Cup started with a 16-0. Raul Sachs says like 16-0.
Why? 16. Okay, 16. What happened? I don't know. He says, I don't know. Our niche financed the liberation of America. In the museum, it's acknowledged that thanks to this, they bought.
Okay.
No,
No, I don't know what he's referring to.
we don't even know what this is. Yes, greetings to Raul Sachs. He says, I've seen everything about the Pink Panther, says Raul Sachs. Yeah, well, I think it's one of the funniest things to watch, right?
Yes, well, yes. It was a whole era, the Pink Panther, of course. He says, who recorded here? Army of hunters, of the English hunters. Which hunters? Our DNA ball, and all that says Wyckoff. Our ball perfects your grammar. It's hard to understand, he says. Greetings, Wyckoff. He says, FB says hello, greetings. Argentina. Yes, we saw it, FB, at the movies, greetings. Well, I mean, we saw the result. We haven't seen the match. Let's see what else.
Greetings to Ariel Carrera, how are you? Greetings to Panama and Washington. Someone in Chile says, I'm watching you. Greetings to both of you. Greetings to Washington. Greetings to La Lermanda. Greetings to Monica Ortiz. How are you? And they're saying here that they still need to watch this. Candy. And they're also mentioning Remy.
Ah, that's the one. I remember when there was nothing to watch. Well, there were those two.
I never watched. I was a big fan of Candy, but my brothers wouldn't let me watch because they wanted to watch something else.
Yeah, something else, yeah.
Yeah, because no, Candy is always crying. No.
How beautiful is this woman's son? The son of your homeland's daughter?
Exactly, how beautiful. Isn't his name Bruno?
What about you? I don't know. Let him tell us. As far as I know, his name is Bruno. Greetings. Doesn't it make you want to name him Bruno?
Yes. Well, yes. That's a nice name, but I don't know. I don't remember.
He says that the Jalala is that Pepito, they should sell generic shirts inspired by the national team, their own designs, products, licensed products by authorized distributors, shirts without brands or protected logos, he says. Jalala greetings, Jalala greetings.
Very good. He says, I still need a name for the channel, so suggestions are welcome. It's a channel about research, mystery, and history, and it's a podcast-style channel. It's not called Ganar. Win-win. Handsome guy like this one. How old is this heartthrob?
He says he looks like he's 7 years old. I think he looks even younger.
He looks even younger, but you can't tell why. That it's because of the hair.
It's that kind of thing. Short videos or super short ones. I mean, that's where I come up with a name to give you. I recommend that the name at least says something like mystery, that it includes the word in the name. Exactly. Something in the name should mention the topic it's going to cover. Otherwise, it's much more complicated. I mean, you realize
This is 30 minutes. It's so long. I mean,
yeah, it's 30 minutes. Well, yeah, let's say if it's Alex Mysteries, for example. No, I would say it's very, very complicated, like Alex Mysteries, for example. Yeah. I mean, it's you and it's the word mystery. That's it. I mean, don't make it too complicated. That's what I would say. And besides, it feels more relatable, right? Now, if you're never going to pay, I mean, if no one is ever going to know about you and it's just going to be a separate voice or something like that, then maybe not, right? Call it something else. But if it's going to be a podcast, put podcast in the name right away. But I don't think it's actually going to be a podcast, right? Because a podcast is usually longer and often live. Sometimes not. But this one, well, great. And once you send us the link, we'll gladly share it here. He says, it's called Místico, says Panterita. Monica suggests tracing the mystery instead of tracing the story. That could work. What did you want? He's just 4. He's young. Okay.
4 years old. Yes. Very young.
Kind of had huge eyelash.
Yes. Look, very handsome because he's
Very handsome. A real heartthrob. The big heartthrob. He says, who else is around? He says,
Was just a fool, Grandpa.
yeah, great grandpa. Ah,
yeah. How interesting our bunch is.
We hadn't heard that word before.
I've heard it before, but I didn't remember. Yeah. But I didn't remember it was like that. Yeah. Well, Monica, cheers. Let's go.
well, guys, let's see. Remember that we're on WhatsApp, we're on Telegram, and we send you the notification when we're live. And we're also on Facebook, X, and Instagram.
Awesome. And let's see if for tomorrow's broadcast, Joya has a name Alex for his channel.
I don't know who are they playing against. But the next one here at the BBVA, as they're asking, is Japan, because tomorrow the Imperial Princess of Japan is coming here to Monterrey. Look at that.
Look.
We're just going to get even fancier. Well, because that's how we are.
All right, Beto. Great. He says, put my story on. My story is, it's interesting.
But the thing is,
My story. Greetings, Beto. Yes.
but Alex, who already has a name,
Very good. Well, it's Zoom. How have you been? Greetings. See you tomorrow. We'll be here early. Tomorrow's broadcast is at 12:30, right? We're going to do it at 12:30. We're going to try these days from Monday to Friday at 12:30. Because we haven't had a schedule. We've had a mess with the schedules. But we believe it's going to stabilize for at least 4 months, maybe 3 months. I don't know. We'll see. The idea is to stabilize the schedule, and we might be able to do that. From Monday to Friday at noon, 12:30 at noon, like from 12:30 to 2. That's when it ends. I mean, it starts at 12:30 and ends at 2. So
now Mexico.
Mexico time, if you are on Mexico time. We'll see how it goes this week. If we can keep it up this week, and next week we'll make it permanent. 12:30, Monday to Friday, and then on the weekend, please excuse us. We'll likely keep having that mess since we also go out and do things. So our schedules sometimes get mixed up. But starting tomorrow, 12:30 in the afternoon, we'll see you here. And then at night, we think 9 o'clock is the best time.
Right? That's the safest time slot.
We'd honestly like it to be earlier. Sure, 7 o'clock would be ideal. No, that's not possible. I mean, at that time, we're not even here. That's very complicated. So it's not possible yet. Maybe later on, right?
What do I put against this? Yes, I validate, you don't, yes.
They're going to put a series on. Let's see. Oh, yes. I think it's on Saturday. You don't decide without a coach or with one.
I know they fired him.
But well, who knows, right? Let's see what happens, right? But yes, Tunisia had a really terrible start. And well, maybe they'll recover. Maybe they'll recover and show some grit. And it could also be a surprise. But well, I think Japan is super organized, so I don't think. Well, let's see. Let's see. Take care. See you tomorrow. Coffee, greetings, Mercedes. Thank you so much for your support, by the way. Mercedes,
Greetings.
thank you very much. And greetings to Alba.
Greetings, Sadish.
To Raul, Mercedes, and everyone. Big greetings. Tapatia. See you with the handsome guy's picture. The handsome guy says goodbye. Good night. Greetings. Well then. See you tomorrow.
Bye. Regular programming. Thank you for tuning in to La Verdad. This is Pepe. Pepe. Leave! La Verdad is pure intensity! Oh, the extraordinary is real. We analyze it here. Global perspective. Don't miss out! Tune into the PP and Vivo channel. Taking over the airwaves, Pepe and Astrid telling it like it is raw journalism. Respect is expected here. Turn on alerts. Don't lose track until next time. Yes, sir. We're taking attendance.